Hey, what's up? A lot of people been asking me lately, what's life like in the U.S. military? Because as we know, the economy is still recovering from the recession. Not a lot of job security out there, or people are just trying to find jobs to begin with. I'll tell you right now, the thing I'm going to say the most in this video is it depends. Of course, it depends on the branch of service you go into. I joined the Navy, but there's the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, the Army. Um, each one of them have slightly different jobs and ways they go about those jobs. The Navy's primary job is to keep, I guess, peace of the seas. Basically, there's a new Navy commercial out there, and pretty much hits it on the head. Says that 90% of world trade is conducted by sea, which means that's how countries trade with one another. That's how they import and export their goods. Is they put them on a cargo ship and they send them off, and or they bring them back, whatever. So it's really important to keep um, open passageways and not let these ships fall to basically to pirates, guys that hijack the ships. A lot of times they kill the crew, and they'll commandeer the ship and take it back to wherever they're from. Um, and that damages the economy big time because you don't just load a ship with 20 bucks worth of gas. It's usually, I can't even imagine, it's in the millions of dollars that those cargo ships can hold as far as fuel. Of course, protecting the United States, another huge role for the Navy. Um, we do this by pretty much a great offense is a good defense. Nuclear powered aircraft carriers, guided missile destroyers, guided missile cruisers, guided missile frigates, nuclear submarines. A lot of these ships can carry weapons of mass destruction, and they're available to launch at anybody at any time. And that's a big reason why a lot of countries don't declare open war on us. So, how do you join the Navy? Because I can only speak for the Navy. I'm not going to try to um, talk about joining the Army or the Marines or anybody else because I have no experience with them. I've never worked with anybody else but the Navy. Um, how you go about joining the Navy is talk to a recruiter, and he'll get you set up. He or she will get you set up with taking your ASVAB. And your ASVAB is basically your aptitude test. And a lot of people mistake the ASVAB for kind of a traditional pass or fail exam, and it's not meant to be like that. The point of the ASVAB is to find out what your inherent strengths and your inherent weaknesses are. And what I mean by that is most most people aren't great at everything. You may be a good mathematical person, but you may have poor paragraph comprehension. You're not that good of a writer or a reader or whatever. And so that's what the Navy uses to find where you're best suited to work, the type of job you're best suited for. If you're really good with math, you may be a good electrician. If you have good paragraph comprehension skills, you'll probably get sent at some type of administrative job. It's okay to not do amazing at everything. Um, you will, like some people just don't do as well in some areas as others. And the point of the ASVAB is not to exploit your weaknesses, it's to identify your weaknesses so that if you're not a good math person, like math just isn't your thing, they're not going to put you in a job that requires you to know a lot of mathematics skills. So that's the point behind the ASVAB. You'll take it, and after you take it, you'll get a score, and you'll find out how you did in each one and in each category. And then you'll be asked to choose a rate, which is Navy lingo for a job. And you'll basically have a list opening, I guess, as far as what kind of jobs you can choose. You may have a lot of jobs you can choose from. You may only have some jobs you can choose from. You may have one job you can choose from. It all depends on your ASVAB score. If you're thinking about enlisting in the military, definitely study as much as you can for your ASVAB. If it's been a few years, if you're not fresh out of high school or you didn't do so hot in high school, definitely brush up on that stuff because the higher you score on your ASVAB, the more options you have. And The more options you have, the more likely you're able to choose a job you're actually interested in, rather than, you got to choose, the lesser of two evils. Boot camp in the Navy is a lot different than what I imagined it being, because whenever you think of boot camp, at least I do, um, I always used to think about pretty much the Marines and the Army guys who, um, you always see them in movies and stuff and videos online, shooting guns, learning to fire rifles, and a lot of physical training. Um, you're out in the woods doing whatever stuff like that. That's what I thought, something like the Navy would do, and definitely not the case. The weirdest part was you spend a lot of time um, doing really, like, it seems at the time, like really stupid stuff, and you're like, what am I doing? When am I going to go out and learn how to fight fires? A lot of the time is spent in your compartment, which is where you sleep. You'll be um, basically in a really, really big room with like 80 other guys, spending most of your time um, folding clothes a really specific way, stamping your clothes in a really specific way, making your bed in a really specific way. Um, and a lot of times I didn't understand, like, this is really lame. I thought it'd be fighting fires and shooting guns the whole time, or fighting floods, stuff you do on Navy ships, and this isn't any of that. And you will be doing that at some point, but the Navy really wants to test how well you cope under stress and how well you can follow instructions. Even though they're really simple instructions, they want to see how you react to being in a room full of strangers getting yelled at, and it's really stressful, and you're not adapted to this place or this environment at all. Like, can you cope with it? Can you still keep a cool head? Stuff like that. Um, that's kind of the point of Navy boot camp. You will be learning skills like, firefighting, basic weapons control. You'll be exposed to tear gas. I want to say they incorporated hand-to-hand combat. It could just be a rumor. I don't know, but yeah, not a lot of Navy boot camp is really physical. Um, it's more knowledge based, and they want to test your levels of stress and how well you can follow simple instructions. The point of all that is whenever you're doing maintenance on your equipment, whatever it may be, it could be maintenance on a machine gun, it could be maintenance on an optical landing aid, it could be maintenance on a fire bottle, a CO2 bottle. If you can't follow the basic instructions on your card, on your maintenance card, the equipment could malfunction due to improper maintenance or maintenance not being done on it, and it could potentially kill a lot of people. After you graduate from boot camp, you'll go over to your school, wherever it may be. There are schools all over the United States for different rates, because they don't all just go to the same building to learn how to be whatever it is they're trying to be. There's schools over in San Diego, California. There's schools, I know the Nukes, they go to school in South Carolina. A lot of the tech rates, like me, we go into like right down the street, which sucks. Everybody's going off to sunny California, or some kind of cool. It's at least a new place. We go right down the road. But after you get done with that, you'll then report to your ship. And again, a lot of people ask, like, oh, what's life like on a ship? Again, it depends. The smaller ships, like destroyers, frigates, cruisers, we call them small boys, their life is a lot different from ours. Like me, I'm on a carrier. That's all I'll touch on for now, because basically the information spiderwebs from here. I don't have all of it, and the amount of information I do have is too much for one video. I'll post some more videos explaining kind of the difference between officer and enlisted, what's the difference between going to a submarine compared to a carrier or compared to a destroyer, whatever. There's no set one path that you're going to go down in the Navy. Again, it all depends on your job, what kind of ship you go to, stuff like that. All right. Thanks for watching. See you.